Kim Davis, the Kentucky county clerk whose name became synonymous with the fight over same-sex marriage rights in America. Yeah, that Kim Davis, the one who back in 2015 refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples after the Supreme Court legalized gay marriage nationwide with Obergefell versus Hodges. She made national headlines, stood her ground on religious beliefs, got jailed for contempt, and lost her job. Fast forward to now, November 2025. Kim Davis made one last legal stand. She asked the Supreme Court to overturn not just a hefty financial judgment against her, but the very decision that made same-sex marriage legal across the country. Big ask, right? Here's the context. After refusing licenses in 2015, Davis was sued by a couple she turned away, David Ermold and David Moore. Years of legal back and forth later, a jury ordered Davis to pay them $360,000. She argued that her actions were protected by the First Amendment. But courts said, nope. Public officials can't just ignore people's constitutional rights. Her final appeal went to the highest court in the land. And on November 10, 2025, the Supreme Court quietly declined to hear her case. No comment, no dissent. Just a simple no. That means the Obergefell decision stands, and Davis still owes those damages. Now, I get why this story makes headlines. Some people, especially after the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade in 2022, are anxious about what other rights could come under fire. Even Justice Clarence Thomas has hinted at revisiting the marriage ruling. But so far, the court didn't take the bait. Since 2015, more than 800,000 same-sex couples have gotten married in the U.S., raising hundreds of thousands of kids. LGBTQ+ advocates breathed a sigh of relief after the court's decision, but they're not letting their guard down. There's also a safety net. The Respect for Marriage Act, signed in 2022. It says the federal government must recognize same-sex marriages, even if the Supreme Court ever changed its mind. But, and it's a big but, states could still try to block new licenses if Obergefell were reversed. For now though, that's just a what if. Public opinion, way different than it was a decade ago. Most Americans now support marriage equality, and even dozens of House Republicans voted to protect it in federal law. As for Kim Davis herself, after her famous stand, she lost her job as county clerk, but she kept fighting, right up to the Supreme Court's door. This was her last stand, and the court said no. So, what does this all mean? For now, same-sex marriage remains the law of the land, and Kim Davis's chapter in this story finally closes, with a period, not a question mark. Thanks for watching. If you want more explainers like this, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned.